what 3 well-known leaders who served can teach us. The concept of leading by serving was formally developed and presented by Robert Greenleaf in the early 1970s in his publication of his seminal work, The Servant as Leader. In it, Greenleaf describes his concept of servant leadership, which is largely defined by the service the leader gives to their followers and the fact that the leader never fails to keep their followers' needs of primary importance. Many leaders have embodied this concept and developed sizable followings as a result. Born into India's caste system in the 19th century, Gandhi's philosophy evolved throughout his life to embrace the attitude of servitude. Upon experiencing racism during his time practicing law, he began to shift his focus to work for the civil rights of Indian people. He didn't seek out a position of leadership. Instead, he worked on the front lines with those experiencing oppression and discrimination, eventually gaining a loyal following, which led him to becoming a leader for civil rights of Indians. He demonstrated the epitome of leading by serving by being assassinated by a Muslim, one of the very people he fought for. Dr. King lived during the rise of the civil rights movement, of which he became a participant and not necessarily of his initial choosing. Yet once he began his work alongside of others for the rights of Black Americans, his influence began to extend further and further and farther into the movement until he became a primary leader, if not the primary leader, of the civil rights movement prior to his assassination. No matter how highly he ascended, he never lost sight of the plight of lowly Black Americans and never failed to labor tirelessly alongside of them. A third leader, and perhaps the ultimate leader who served, was Jesus Christ. He was born into a lowly Jewish working family during a time when Jews were under Roman rule. The biblical account of Christ indicates that he lived his entire life as not much more than a peasant, yet was and is a leader of the highest ranking. There is no higher position of the leadership than being God. However, Jesus never lost sight of the lowly, the oppressed, and the disinherited. He spent his entire earthly life serving his followers and meeting their needs, even sacrificing his own life for them. So, what do these leaders who serve tell us? Or what can we learn from their lives and the examples they set? We learn that a formal position of leadership is not required in order to have a love for the people we serve, and that those we serve know beyond any doubt that we care for them and want the best for them, and will always strive for them to realize their goals and desires and have their needs met. Our empathy for them can be clearly felt by them, and in turn, they are loyal to us and the leadership we provide, whether from a formal position of leadership or otherwise. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.